Good morning. My name is Sara Bentley, one of the pastors at Twin Lakes Church, and I'm so grateful to be joining you for today's video devotion. Many of you know my story, and you know that as a child, I had one dream, one aim, and that was to become a doctor. In fact, I was so excited about that dream that my mom has pictures of me casting my younger sister's leg with toilet paper or wearing my toy stethoscope around the house. And this dream led me to pursue an undergraduate degree in neurobiology at the University of California, Davis, to volunteer at the hospital, to do everything I could to prepare for a career in medicine. But then in the summer of 1999, I went on a missions trip to West Africa, and in West Africa, God spoke to me. And he said, "Sara, I am calling you to help heal souls, not bodies." Well, that changed everything for me. I knew in that moment my plot twist meant that I was no longer headed to medical school. Instead, God wanted me to head towards seminary and a career in ministry. In the first week of our You'll Get Through This series on the life of Joseph, Mark talked about the need for us to trust our future to the providence of God. Now, that word providence refers to God's divine guidance or care. And when God introduced my plot twist, the question that I had to ask myself is, did I truly believe that my loving God was guiding me towards what was good, what was best? Was I really ready to let go of all the hard work I had done to prepare to go to medical school and instead to follow God's calling towards ministry? As we continue to look at Joseph's story in the weeks to come, we'll see several more plot twists that nobody, not even Joseph, could have anticipated. And we'll also see how God strategically uses every one of those to position Joseph to be right where he needs to be, for not only Joseph's good, but for the good of God's people and ultimately for God's glory. Now, we know how Joseph's story ends. We know that God uses Joseph to save a countless numbers of people. In our case, our stories are still being written. But there are some things we can still know to be true, to be certain. Here are just a few of them. We can be certain that God loves us. We can be certain that God is always at work. And we can be certain that God will use the plot twists in our lives for our good and ultimately his glory. I love how Eugene Peterson paraphrases Romans 8:28. He writes this: "God knows us far better than we know ourselves and keeps us present before God. That's why we can be so sure that every detail in our lives of love for God is worked into something good." You may be in a season of life right now where you're experiencing some unexpected plot twists. My prayer today is that you would choose to believe that God will work those into something good. Not only your good, but for the good of others and ultimately for his glory. Thanks so much for joining me today. God bless.